So we're going to do create order from cart, and just stop me, guys, if there is something that you don't understand. So what we're going to do first is we're going to create a new order controller. We're going to pluralize it because that's what Rails does. All right, and I like to just go ahead and borrow the headline from another controller, the class definition, because that way I make sure that it all sort of lines up. One thing you just want to be careful with this is that you kind of zoom in all. Is that better, guys? One thing you just want to be careful of is that the name of the class matches the name of the file. Otherwise, obviously, it's going to cause you problems. So now I got orders controller. So now I have a controller. How am I going to get to it? What's the next thing I need to do? Gotta make a route. Routes time. So I already have resources cart products, so now I'll make resources orders. All right, so that'll let me route to my orders controller, and I already have a implicit methods called by setting the routes, by setting resources here. What are the methods that I get for free from Rails by saying that I have an orders resources? Orders resources. Joe. The whole RESTful side. Edit and delete. Or edit, just destroy. You got it. Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay, so I get those for free. So what I like to do is I like to outline these just so that I know what I'm going to make. So I have to create here. And I like to kind of put them in the order that I expect them to be called in. So I'm going to go to new first. That's going to be a get. Create's going to be a post. And then show, that's going to be another get. That's the one that's going to actually show me the order I just created. So at this point, I should be able to go back to my cart view and go down to the checkout button. I made a button 2. Which some of us we already saw we had a little problem with some of these. I'm going to turn this into a link to because a button 2 would make a which RESTful action? A post, right? And the link to will be make a get. So I'll make a link. I'll make this a link to. And then here, instead of the empty hash, I am going to write out what path based on the routes that I created here. TJ. What path will go into this little spot right here to say my link to.
Oh, the link for your chat on
This action.
new order path?
New orders path. All right, cool. So let's see if that works. I could also have gotten that wrong. It could be new order path. I think you're right. My bad. Nice work, TJ. All right, cool. So this is can't see it on here because this is annoyingly small, but new orders new. All right, cool. So this takes us to a new thing, and it says there's no template. So now we go add the template. So I think what we said in this gist is that we're going to have we made an orders controller. We're going to have a new action, create an empty form, and we're going to have a include an input to get the user's email. So that's going to be what we try to do next. New folder, orders, and we're going to say new. All right, and here we're going to say, we're going to make okay, so what would be an appropriate, so the things I want on this page, eventually I want an input with a name of email, and then I want an input type equals submit, name equals checkout. Okay, so these are the things I want on the form. So this would be like the HTML. Let's go ahead and we'll make a little label, email, div. All right, so that's this stuff. All right, so now when we go back to here, we see order new. Okay, so we got email, we got submit here. So this is me writing the HTML manually, which is totally fine. That's totally cool. If the only problem here is that when I wrap this in a form, I'm gonna have to go write out like the paths and set the method and everything. So if I don't want to do this like the hard way, I can use the helpers from Rails. What would be a good helper to use here? What are my options? What are the 2 helpers I can choose from? They both start with form underscore. What I like to do when I can't remember what something is called is I'll use Apple or Command Shift F, and I'll put in the thing that I'm looking for, and I'll go find instances where I have already done this. Your application is built, so you will have instances of it. My application is not, so I don't have one. But go ahead and try that out in your code. See if you can find form underscore in your code somewhere. For example, maybe when we were creating products in the admin namespace. And call me out if I'm full of it. There's no form underscore form in a URB template. I could be wrong.
What was the key combination?
So it's going to be, Command F is going to be search inside of a file, and then Command Shift F will be searching all the files. Like many commands, you can just find them in the edit menu. So we're looking at the, oh, there's a special find menu actually. So the find in files, that would be like, they'll let you find in all the files. Dice? No dice? Form 4. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, so form 4. What is it? What are the arguments for form 4, TJ?
Sorry. What do you mean for the instance order?
So what do we need to pass into form 4? Do I pass things into it, or do I just call it right by itself?
No, we passed into it before the admin, but we're not using the admin database that we did now.
Well, that's okay. So just ignore that.
So, okay.
What else is in there?
The second argument was the engine product and pack product for this one. So
Sure.
would it be out of order as well?
That's what I probably would expect. All right, let's put an order in there. Okay, cool. So we're going to say form 4 order, and then form 4 takes a block, and this I usually say form, because now we have an instance of, now we essentially have an instance of the form builder. And so we can call methods on this. Anyone know any methods that we can call on the form builder instance? Label. All right. Is it label? Is it label 4? Anyone know? I honestly don't. So somebody's got to speak up here, otherwise I'll have no idea. F the label. Is it? Okay. So we use the F before. Okay, so we use F. That's fine. So label 4, and we say like I guess email, and we're gonna say F dot input. All right, and then let's just go ahead and since we typed so much, let's see if this actually worked. Okay, first form cannot. Okay, so here's an instance. So I've got a problem. My problem here is an argument error. It says first argument in form cannot contain nil or empty. Anyone know what my problem was?
Or there's nothing in that class.
There is nothing in this class because we just stubbed it out. So let's go ahead and make a new one here. All right. All right, now what's my problem? Uninitialized constant orders controller double colon unorder. Ian, what's my problem? Kind of. Kind of. Joe, what's my problem? Huh? My problem is, unlike you guys, I do not have an orders class. So let me go make one. If I go into models, you'll notice that I have cart and cart product and user, but I don't have an order class. So let's go ahead and make one. Order.rb, and I'll go ahead and copy it like I always do. So I got an order here. And then it's going to have many line items. So I'll go ahead and I'll implement the line items class because you guys already have that. Okay, and then okay, so this relation, I said an order has many line items. What will be the relation I need to define on a line item? Belongs to order. Nicely done. Nicely done. All right, cool. And so, am I done? Is this good enough? Am I ready to go? Well, wouldn't worry about that. It's actually, the problem is that, what is this telling me? PG table, error. Joe? I don't have any tables. Gotta make tables. Gotta make tables, bro. Rails, G, migration. Orders. And line items. Okay. Should I make one migration or two? Does it matter? Sorry? Should I make one migration or two? Doesn't matter. It's up to me. So I'll create the orders table, and I'll create the line items table. T.reference. Okay, so what kind of fields do we need on my orders table? Anybody have any suggestions? How about we've got the, yeah, go ahead. Order ID, I think we're gonna get that for free actually. Timestamps, always want those. That's always good. Other things I would want on my order. Customer ID, that sounds good. We're gonna not assume with customers quite yet, so let's say email. That sounds good to me. Just bring email. Anything else we're gonna need on orders? All right, let's roll with that. That seems fine. We can come with any ideas. Line items. How about we said we were going to denormalize the cart items into line items. So what are the fields that we're going to copy over from cart items into line items? Yep. The name, quantity, and price. I think that's a good call. So we've got the price here. I'm going to say t.string. So we need the name. And then we can also say t.integer. This would be the quantity. All right, and then Steph had a really good idea. She had the references thing in here, so I'll include that too. References a product. So we'll pass the product now. So we've got the order, the product, the name, the ID, and the price. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Anyone see any problems in this migration? This is going to run successfully? Hope so. Hope so. See if we get some luck. Look at that. Boom. All right, so this is going to work? Almost. Undefined method input for form builder. What is my problem with that? That is not the name of the method. No problem. Problem you guys have all the time. And label for. That's not the name of it either. What am I doing wrong here? Text field? Is that what it is? So it says label is wrong. What's label actually called? Does anyone know? See? I don't know anything more than you guys do. No, like what's the method I need to call in form builder to get a label? It's supposed to be just label. Oh, label's right. Oh, you know what was wrong was the, you're right. Input's not right, it's text field. Nice work. All right, cool. So now I got my email here. And then I'm going to need a submit button. Submit button. And here we'll say checkout. Turns out that's not what that's called either. Maybe it's just submit. Submit. Nice work, TJ. All right, cool. So I have checkout. Okay, and then this is going to make a post onto the orders path, and then I get a template missing. So let's go ahead and what should we do next? Anyone have any ideas? Create an order. Sounds like a good look. Order.create. We'll call order params. So we have my order. And then usually, what do we do usually after a post? Do we render a template or do we do something else? Find a create action or another post route in your app and see if you can figure out what we do there. I'm going to write the order params method, which is super boring. All right, anybody find one? Well, I think I'm calling create here. So what's that going to do? Is that going to call save for me?
Pardon?
Will that call save for me? It'll call save for me. So yeah, so here you're right. In this case, I'd be better off with a create bang because I'm not handling errors. So in this case, I'd be better off raising a 500 in the event that the create fails. Okay, and then so now I'm going to redirect to order. So let's go ahead. We'll check out. All right, and then this says template missing. What's my route here? My show. So let's go make that. So let's say set order equals order.find params ID, and we'll go make that order show template. That order ID. Oops. Thanks for shopping. All right, cool. Order one created. Thanks for shopping. Okay, cool. So that gives me the basic path where I create an order. And if I go to my Rails console, hopefully I will find, I'll zoom this up a little. I like to use this split, guys. I know that some of you guys are using iTerm. Some of you are using a million tabs. I'm telling you, these splits, totally the way to go. Does anyone recall what the shortcut is to make one of these splits? Excuse me? Command, yeah, exactly. It's Command D or Command Shift D. Command D, I think, makes a vertical split, which is also great. But I personally think that these MacBooks work best with horizontal splits. That's just me, though. So whatever you like. Order.last, O. All right, O.attributes. All right, cool. So here I got this thing. My email is empty string. So maybe I want to make a validation for that. This is not my Kyle@betamore.com. All right, cool. I create my second order. I'll order.last again. Here I got my email set. So maybe I want to validate that. That would be something that you guys could go ahead and do yourself. Okay, so at this point I've created an order, but does the order have any line items? No. So what are we going to do instead? Maybe do that. So All right, so here, create the order, and now I'm going to copy all of the items onto here. So I'm going to say, how do I get my current cart? There is a method called current cart. It's on application controller. So is this method current cart available to us on orders controller? Why is that? Because we inherit from application control. Perfect. All right, so it has many cart products. Okay, and we're just going to say each view. Look at what I've done here. I put the view inside the bars. That doesn't work right. So now I'm going to say order. Oops, I got a reminder. Write in my diary. Do that later. Line items build. And we are going to, let's go ahead and just say, okay, so here, what properties are we going to set on the line items for the order? It was in the migration we made. So it was the add order. Okay, so we got these couple properties we said we were going to set. Let's go ahead and set those. That's what I'll do is I'll just put this in here, I'll comment it out, that way I can kind of reference it. It also helps with the auto completion in Sublime or in Atom. So the product is the cart product product. The name is the cart product product name. The price and quantity. So this is just going to go right to the cart product quantity, and then the price is going to be right off the product. All right, and then we'll build called save, or we'll build only create a new record. Does anyone know what the API for build is? I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't recall either. How are we gonna figure it out? Look around. Here's a place where we did it before. We had to call save, so let's call save on that. So this is gonna be the line item. And then we can call, we're kind of doing this whole like, don't handle errors thing. So we call save bang on that. I find doing the no error handling to sometimes be an easier way to get started, and then we go back and handle errors. I really think that there are going to be errors. All right, Kyle Betamore, call us Kyle 2. Check out. No method belong to. What does that mean? No method belong to for class. No problem. It belongs to. I'm a bad speller. Not my first time. Making spelling mistake. Okay, so let's see. This was going to be on the line items class. All right. Confirm form resubmission. All right. So cart product product unknown attribute product. What's my problem here? It says unknown attribute product. It says there's no product attribute on line items. Interesting. This is not a particularly helpful stack trace, I would say. Let's see what this thing tried to do. So it says insert into orders, select products, unknown attribute product inside of create. Interesting. Interesting. So let's go to the cart product model, belongs to product. Looks pretty good to me. What is wrong with our stuff here? Anyone have any ideas? I kind of don't know. Maybe let's look at the table. Schema. There's cart products, there's line item, product ID. That looks really good. That totally looks like what I would expect. There's name and the price and all that stuff. Cart, product, that product. How are we gonna figure this out? Binding in here? All right, now we're stopping the binding. So maybe what we'll do is, I find this binding to make it easier for me to kind of try this out. Let's see, where am I in the binding? I am, oh, this is not the binding I'm in. This is actually a Rails console. That's confusing. This is the binding I'm actually in. Okay, so let me try this out. Still same thing, unknown attribute product. Unknown attribute product, cart. What's a cart product? Maybe I screwed something up there. Okay, there's that thing, and I see product here. That seems totally fine. So maybe I should set the product ID directly. Maybe that will work better. So product ID is cart product, that product ID. I think that should be the same thing. Today's the day for that. Maybe with BEWD, maybe you can't use the you can't set the product instance. Maybe it doesn't like that. Maybe you have to use the product ID. Should be the same thing, right? Because it doesn't actually store an instance of the product anyway. So we'll get rid of that binding. All right, so that guy's irritated, but we're going to continue. All right, cool. So there's our order 6. All right, so now we could do, we'll make it easier to figure out what's going on. Let's go ahead and we'll put the, we'll just spell out the line items real quick. Let's make this into a quick little table. PR. So we're going to say for each order.line items.each do line item. And the TR. These do all the things we want to do. I like to select down with Control and Shift at the same time. Line item. See how productive this is? I can do all kinds of stuff really fast. Name. This is going to be quantity. Right. All right. Undefined method name for nil class. What's my problem? Anyone know? Something looks weird here. Yeah, go ahead, Joe. Definitely disapproves of the at symbol. Why does it disapprove of the at symbol? Yeah, exactly. That symbol would be an instance variable on the class, but that's not what I have here. All right, so here's all the stuff that I bought. Pretty cool. All right, so I can make this really fancy. I can add the total and all that. We'll just kind of skip over that for now, but I would expect you guys to do that. So let's just show this over and over again. So I go to cart, say checkout, put on my email, Kyle3@datamore.com, checkout. Ooh, it's got all the same products in there. Why is that? Right, I never took the cart out of session. How about that for a fact? So how do I put the cart in session? Joe? Session cart ID? So, cool, just set it right here. All right, so I created the order, I'm gonna add all these cart products and put the session cart ID to nil, and that will mean that I can not check out with the same cart twice. Well, at least I'll create it over again. So Kyle 4. All right, and now look at this, cart is 0, go shopping. Cool, add this to my cart, go to cart, check out, put my email in here. Now I have one item. Cool. So far so good? Okay. So there is a quick little question here where we said, Okay, so we did make an orders controller. We said have the new action create an empty form. We said have the create action create a new order and copy each cart item to a corresponding line item. So far, so good. Redirect the user to a show action where we showed the order that was just created. What happened to your shopping cart? We kind of did that already. How do we prevent duplicate orders? Now, this is an interesting question. Let me just put a sleep 10 in here. All right. So we're gonna have to just kind of simulate this because we have we only have a single threaded server, but I'll show you what's happening. All right. So check out. I'm gonna duplicate this tab. All right. Let me say sleep 60. That'll give us plenty of time. All right. So I'm on the checkout screen of both of these things. It's kind of a boring checkout screen, but let's go ahead and we'll add a little for this. Which one? Checkout. All right, so at least we're on the checkout screen there. So now I'm going to put in my email, Kyle5. I'm going to hit checkout. Now look at this. It's spinning like this. Now look, if I go over here and I say Kyle2 at Betamore, Kyle6, and I hit checkout, what's going to happen? Joe. That's totally right. It's exactly right. So it's, both of these, the session cookie is going to be set on here because of the whole way cookies work. Is that it's not going to get reset until this request finishes. So I'll end up with the same order twice. Wompity, wompity, womp womp. I think the way that sleep works in Ruby is it's seconds. It might be in something ridiculous like minutes. Let's see, we got these requests. They're just hanging out. Well, in the meantime, let's go ahead and solve that problem. So, do we have any ideas about how we might... Okay, so we got one of them finished. Do we? Oh, maybe not. Okay, so do we have any ideas about how we might try to isolate orders so we don't end up with the potential for duplicate orders, or any kind of ideas? This session cart idea is definitely a big part. It's definitely kind of related to shopping cart. What can we do? So can we set the cookie? When does the cookie setting happen? When the cookie sets when the request finishes. So if what we have here is we've got super slow requests, and oh my gosh, they're so slow. Still not even done yet. Will we get to the will we set the cookie at the end of these super slow requests? Okay, so here we go. Shopping cart 10, awesome granite. These both have exactly the same thing as promised. Wow, that was a really long sleep, but we finally got there. So I would say no on the cookie thing, but it's a good idea. Is there a place in our world that is a singular resource that everybody has to go into one by one that has, say, like ACID properties, and it's a good place to store data for a really long time? The database? The database is a place. There's only one of them. We have to kind of go in one at a time and set things in there. That would be my suggestion. I think that would probably be the best way to go. And so what we could do, the way we've solved this many times, or the way that most web applications solve this, is that we go to that add orders thing, and we just say, it's actually relatively simple. We just say T references cart, and then we just say unique true. And what that will do, let me comment this out because I want to roll back this migration, so I don't break BEWD rollback. And I say break BEWD migrate. I think unique true works. Let's take a quick look. Schema. cart ID. Did unique work? I think no. I think I didn't do anything, honestly. So let's figure out how do we create a. We basically want to create a unique index on the cart ID, and that will make sure that we can only have one order in the table that corresponds to a particular cart. I don't remember how to do this, so let's go figure out where we're going. Column unique index. Look at this, unique true. Oh, you got to add index separately. Is that a bad call? Thought that this was a thing, but apparently not. Add index table name here is orders. Column name is cart ID, and it's going to be unique true. Rake db migrate. Yeah, great question. What do you got?
What is for the order model you use for validation uniqueness?
So what would be the difference between the two? Anyone know? The question was, what would be the difference between validates uniqueness true on the order model and add index cart ID unique true?
I mean, I think you understand adding an index.
Definitely. Yeah, good question. It's a really good question. Joe, do you know? That's not quite right, but it's a good idea. The idea is, by doing add index here, we have the database enforce the constraint. And if we say validates uniqueness true in the model, then we have Ruby enforce the constraint. So in something where we're kind of concerned about database timing, or two things can be happening at just the same time, it's better for us to add index because the database has the ACID property we talked about before, where things are atomic, and it's better to rely on the database for that because it can handle, it will enforce that stuff more succinctly than our own application. So that's a good look. So we'll use the database for that, but you would be totally fine. In fact, you can use both, but the add index on the database is the way to go here. So we'll do that. All right. So now in both these sessions we have that whole sleep 60 thing that really took forever. So let's go back here and we will say so you say sleep 5 instead because 60 really took a long time. So let's try out this same scenario one more time. We're going to add a couple things to our cart. We got 3 awesome granite cars in the cart. We are going to go to the cart thing. We're going to click checkout. Okay, we're going to duplicate this tab. Okay, so this is the good one at betamore.com, and then we're going to say bad at betamore.com. Do this real quick. Okay, is this going to work the way we wanted it to? Maybe. Hopefully. Order 1 created, order 2 created. Totally did not work the way we wanted it to. Just how it goes sometimes. That is just how it goes sometimes. All right, so let's see what happened. Rail C. What went wrong? You got any idea? No? So order. So we've got order 1, order 2. So order at all. Now look at this. What's wrong? Yep. Joe, what do you got? Gotta set the card ID. Can't index on something if you don't set the card ID. That's not gonna work. All right, so here we go. Back in order params, we're gonna permit this. We can say merge cart ID is current cart dot ID. So that'll add that extra parameter in there. All right. Very embarrassing. We think we fixed the problem, but it actually is not fixed. Okay, still computers. Add those in there. So we got 2 of these. We're gonna go checkout. Let's say duplicate. Okay, good, a beta more. Bad, a beta more. All right. Does anyone think this is gonna work? I hope so. This 10 seconds thing, man, it's like really seems to be a lot longer than 10 seconds. No idea what's up with that. All right, order 3 created. Record not unique. Boom. We get just what we want. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. And then we set this thing out. All right, cool. So this looks like a commit to me. So we covered creating an order. We covered redirecting. We covered preventing duplicate orders. We covered the shopping cart. And so now the next part is going to be charging cards with Stripe. So let me say create order from cart. All right, cool. I will take that. Maybe this will work. Actually, no. I think I might have to use the command line because I'm using the GitHub app. Okay. So now it's charging card with Stripe. Is everybody? We have the energy for it. We have 40 minutes. It's not actually rocket science. So we could do this. Is it time? All right. So and if we don't get done, no big deal. We'll just pick it up with Paul. There is a really good guide here. Stripe.com/doc/checkout/guide/rails. Now, the only thing about this guide is it explains to you how to do one way of making an app, but this is not going to fit our app exactly. This is going to be our app is going to be a little bit different. So this talks you through step by step, create a controller, create routes. Some of this stuff we have, some of this stuff we don't. So what I'd like for you guys to do is to read through it now for I don't know, say 10 minutes, and try to think about, as you're reading through it, think about which of this is going to be the same and what's going to be different. Of this, is there any of this that I should copy and paste into my app, or are the parts that I'm going to have to just think through and maybe be a little bit different because my app is going to behave a little bit differently than the way that Stripe has it suggesting here. So that's kind of what we're going to do for 10 minutes, and then at 8:30 we'll try to highlight some stuff that is the same and that's different.